Hi, welcome to Random Eats. I'm Rob. Today we're making lobster macaroni. We're going to start by dicing up some garlic cloves. The recipe calls for 3. Well, I have one very large one here, so I'm going to use it and another one. Smack it on the top. Get the outer off. There's one. Two. The secret to mincing your garlic real good, knife on top, squish it, remove the stem, and a quick chop like that, and that's all it takes. So, remove a little bit of stem, squish it, and a quick dice. Alright. Our water has now come to a boil. We're going to add a nice heavy pinch of salt to it, just to season the water a bit. We're going to add 1 pound of dried macaroni, or whatever small pasta you care to use. Turn your heat down a bit so it doesn't overboil. We're going to let that boil. Now while that's boiling, we're going to get all the other ingredients together here. We need some butter. Just a couple tablespoons of it. Goes in our pot over here on medium heat. We're going to wait for that to melt, and then we're going to add the onions to it. Alright, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the butter to melt and for the pasta to finish cooking, open your beer. Now this beer is a home brew. I did myself. That'll have to wait for our later show. You want to make sure that you stir your pasta every so often so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. Alright. Butter's nice and melted. We're going to add about a half cup's worth of onion. Pick that up if you have dogs, which I do. That's a big one. We're going to sweat and lightly brown the onions, and then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Alright, while we're waiting on the onions to finish their sweat, let's go ahead and start prepping the rest of the ingredients. We're going to need we'll use 2 cups of mozzarella, about a cup of Monterey Jack, freshly grate some Parmesan. That should do. That was about a half a cup of freshly grated Parmesan. If you're going with the pre-grated, I'd go for about a quarter cup. And then check your onions. And your pasta. Alright. We're gonna start with about half a cup of my favorite cheese. This is an extra sharp cheddar. We're gonna add more later to the top. Alright. Now we're also going to need a block of cream cheese. And a cup and a half of milk. Check your onions. We're going to need the salt again. You're also going to want some fresh ground black pepper. Alright, so our onions have sweated and taken on a little color. Now we're going to add the garlic. Alright, now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of flour to our onion and garlic mixture. We're going to add 1½ teaspoons of kosher salt. And then a healthy grind of black pepper. Give it a quick stir. What we're doing is trying to get all that butter that was in there to be absorbed into the flour. It's going to stop it from clumping. The beginning of a roux here. We're not going to take it that far, but we are going to be using this as a thickening agent. We're going to put it back on the heat and cook it for about 2 more minutes to try and cook out some of that cereal flavor within the flour, and then we can start adding the rest of the ingredients. Alright, macaroni's done. You need to strain it off. Get your colander. Back in the same pot, and we're going to keep it warm this way. Turn your heat all the way down to low. You don't want to burn it. Now add all the milk all at once to your, without making a mess, to your onions. Get it, Shane. Give it a real good stir. We're going to let that heat up, and as soon as it is, we're going to add all of our cheeses. Have a drink. And clean up your mess. Alright, let's go add our cheese. We've got our pan here. I've already lined it with foil. Pour macaroni right into it. Spread out nice and even. There we go. Now we're going to turn our attention to the lobster. I have 2 5-ounce tails here. This is more than enough. Split them right in half. Pick out the raw meat. Alright, now we want to cut this up into little pieces because this is going to cook directly on top of the macaroni. Alright, cut your lobster into little pieces. You have these sections where the shell was, cut each of those in half and it's going to be small enough. This way the lobster will cook at a fast enough pace to where we don't have to pre-cook it before putting it on top. And it'll just cook along with the rest of the macaroni. And there we go. Now that's going to go directly on top of the cheese sauce that we've got going over here. This is nice and done. Bring it on in. Mix it around just a little bit. Help it work its way through. A lot of it will work through as it cooks in the oven, but this way we'll make sure that it's all the way through. Alright, flatten it all back out. Now layer lobster down. We don't want it in clumps, we want to have it nice and separate. That way, when you dish it out, everyone gets a nice chunk of lobster. There we go. I'm going to add some panko. Some panko Japanese breadcrumbs, just a light sprinkling on top. Add some more cheddar cheese right on the top. Just a little. Alright, now we're going to cover this with foil and let it cook for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to uncover it and cook it for another 10 to brown the top. Alright, now it's going to go into a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes. Time to check on our macaroni. Oh yeah, that's good. Gorgeous. Here, that's a little bit of lobster meat right here. I'll add right back where it came from. Alright, we're going to stick this back in for about 5 or 10 minutes to let the top brown up a bit and get golden brown and delicious, and then it's ready to serve. Alright, it's been 10 minutes for the macaroni. Here's where we stand. That looks done to me. We're going to pull it out, we'll cover it up, let it rest for just a minute, probably like 5 or 10 minutes, and then it'll be definitely ready to eat. Alright, it's been 5 minutes. Macaroni's not quite browned yet. I'll let it go another 5, and then we're going to call it.